All right, you guys, we have another great episode coming up for you today. I can't wait for you all to hear this one.
It's a good one.
What'd you think, Tony?
I really liked it. I feel like we talk a lot about a bunch of different things. I will say the new segment that we've added, it is a lot of fun because it really gets to the core of like what we do in terms of music and DJing. So yeah, that new segment at the end, check it out because it's a lot of fun.
New segment, all about the DJs and the music peeps. I think you're really going to enjoy it, especially those of you, I think, that are listening to this episode on your drive to work or maybe on your drive home from work.
Yep.
Because we've got some new gear and new equipment we're talking about. And I think you're just going to like the podcast. We're leveling up, peeps. That's all there is to it.
Yep. Let's get right into the episode. It's about to be a lot of fun.
Let's do it. Here we go.
What do you like better, Christmas or wedding season?
Mr. Gray.
Yes. The answer would be wedding season.
Bingo.
Well, you've just inspired me to hire a DJ, so thank you.
Oh, well, good luck finding a DJ who can move and shake like this.
You are now listening to Cutmaster Cast.
Yo, 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 yo. Welcome back to another round of the Cutmaster Cast. This is episode number 5, where we discuss local events, the DJ and music scene, and wedding industry topics and hacks. My name is Chris Romero.
What's up, y'all? My name is Tony Pacheco.
And we are your favorite DJs with Cutmaster Music out of Albuquerque, New Mexico. We're excited that you all are here with us today and listening in. Today we're going to talk about our local events that are happening. And then our topic of the day is going to be traditions within the wedding reception. We're going to hit up the grab bag once again, where we scour the internets and talk about some questions and topics that have come up in the discussion groups there. And then we've got a new segment we're going to introduce today that I'm excited about called Back to the Music.
Ooh, this one's going to be good.
That's right. It's going to be a good one. Also, I'm really excited about this that we have going on right here.
Why don't you explain what we got?
So are the people. The people are excited for us as well.
Yeah, so this allows us to play like samples, a whole bunch of different audio things, and
we're upping our game, peeps.
Trying.
That's right. We got a new podcast mixing board here, and I might have a little too much fun with this. Oh my god!
Strap on for you, just for your ears.
Apparently I need to put that a little bit lower. But anyways, it's gonna be fun using that, and hopefully the cast sounds a little bit better for you all as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So let's get into it. Let's talk about our local events. I had the weekend off. It was my birthday last week. I believe it was on Friday. I don't know. I'm getting old. I kind of forget now. But I didn't have any events going on. But I think you had something, right?
Yeah. I had Marble Heights over. It was in the Heights location, Marble Brewery. But they're a lot of fun. I like it too because when I show up there, that room is pretty much dead. There's like maybe 1-2 people in there. But when I bring my DJ equipment in, it's a lot more inviting. People are coming in and being like, oh, wow, there's a DJ. This could be really, really fun. It's interesting, though, because the 21-plus area, so like I said, it's kind of chill. More people are just kind of reading a book, having a beer. But when I come in there, everybody just starts feeding off the music. And for this past weekend, I noticed it was a more older crowd. It was a lot more of just people listening to, I don't know, I felt like they would respond better to like classic rock or like 80s rock or whatever. But I was playing like Redbone, Come and Get Your Love, Sweet Emotion, Aerosmith, stuff like that. And that seemed to be doing pretty well. But it's just every single Friday, whether it's downtown Heights, you always are getting a different kind of crew, especially at Marble, because Marble's such a good brewery that everybody loves. So just like 2 weekends ago when I was there, it was a big old sorority girl group, which was fun, right? But it was a whole different crowd from like what I had just this past Friday. So
that's kind of fun. I know
nice.
When you're doing bar scene or nightlife, it's kind of nice to mix it up,
Yeah.
Playing all the same stuff all the time.
Yeah,
so
well, that's what I like about the Heights too, is I'm creating more of like an experience that can ultimately encourage and lead to dancing, but also too like it's just about feeding an environment so I can play a lot of different things, a lot of different music, as opposed to like a wedding or like a nightclub. You're kind of limited in a way.
Right. Yeah, you got to get in a certain pocket, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
But,
Yeah, and I know like this week coming up, we've actually got an event together.
Yeah, we do. That
Yeah.
one's going to be a lot of fun. It's our dueling DJ set. This is probably like what, the third or fourth time we've done it?
I think so. Yep.
Yeah, and this is really cool. It's at Revel in Uptown Funk, where they have the dueling piano bars or the dueling piano, but we bring the dueling DJ to it. And so that's actually going to be what am I thinking? February 25th.
We're planning ahead, people. We're giving
Yeah,
you
right.
plenty of time.
Hey, it's going to happen in November. Watch. No, I'm just kidding. So we are actually having a dueling DJ set at Revel Uptown Funk, February 25th. That's this Saturday from 8 to 11. It's a lot of fun. We DJ back and forth. We go off of each other. We're communicating with each other, trying to figure out what BPM each other's at, what song you're going to play next. And it's just so much fun because a lot of people never expect what we bring to the table. We're doing a bunch of different music mashups and different styles of DJing, and it's just a lot of fun.
Yeah, what I like about it too, I think it's super fun for all age groups that are 21 and over, right? You're gonna have the old school with the geriatric DJ in the house.
Yeah.
But and I like to cover all that stuff, like 80s and 90s is my pocket for sure. And then Zia here brings in all the newer stuff, so we kind of go back and forth, and we create this just really fun environment, I think, with the crowd that comes in there.
Yeah.
I'll be playing the music videos on the video DJ booth, so yeah, lots of fun. Come and check it out this Saturday from 8 to 11 o'clock. And then I've got a corporate event tomorrow actually that I'm doing out at Sandy Event Center, so it'll be fun to be out there. And yeah, we're starting to pick it up a little bit here. I know March is going to be pretty packed for us. So
my first wedding is in March, and then just more events and different things too, school dances.
So excited to talk about those as they come forward. Okay, let's keep it moving right along and get into our topic of the day, which is traditions within the wedding reception.
Nice.
This is something I've been seeing come up more frequently, I feel like, over the last couple of years, where our couples who are, I would say, I don't know, the average age is somewhere between 23, 24 to the upper 20s, 28, 29. Mm-hmm. And I feel like those younger couples are more and more doing away with traditional wedding traditions at their reception.
Yeah. Things
what are you seeing?
Things like formal dances, dollar dances, bouquet garter. We mentioned it a few times. But yeah, I feel like the bride nowadays is really trying to stay away from what we call cookie cutter weddings. The same thing we see at every single one, where it's dances, formal things. They cut the cake, they go in a toast, they open the dance floor, and then you're done, right? Nobody wants to have a wedding where their guests are like, oh, it's just another wedding that we have to go to. They always, when I'm like talking with couples and just asking them what's the most important thing, they always are like, we want our guests to have fun, to think that was an amazing event, right? And so I don't think they're just focusing in on these specific moments, but more so creating fun experiences for couples with different things. DJs, games are kind of coming back, but I have my kind of take on games too, other distractions. But yeah, I feel like couples are now trying to get away from those formal things and just kind of incorporating more photo booths and just like signature cocktails and stuff like that.
Right. So I want to go through and talk about some of the specific traditional elements that we see at our weddings here, and let's talk about those a little bit and what we're seeing, and maybe some different takes on some of these elements too. So let's just start off like right off the bat with like a first dance. All right, I know personally I've seen our couples doing some different things. So I had a couple, my first wedding of the year a few weeks back at Los Poblanos. Let's go back even before that. Grand entrance.
Yep.
Let's talk about grand entrance, because this is what I wanted to talk about with that couple.
Okay.
They didn't have one. They wanted to mix right in with cocktail hour, and then since they were already out there with their guests and kind of partying with them, they felt it was kind of just awkward to then reintroduce them after we had already had the ceremony.
Yeah.
So I know that's happened a few times at my events where, they're not even doing this grand entrance. But then I've got the complete other side of it too. So I feel like you're either doing away with it or you're going full out with it.
Yep.
So it's like these two extremes where I had another couple. This was at the end of last year, I think their wedding party was like 12 couples. It was huge, right? And then of course they did the introduction where everybody had their own kind of dance, coming in from really far away. It was at the convention center. So yeah, it's but once I feel like we're seeing like the extremes when it comes to the
either
grand
not at
entrance.
all or something crazy. Like each couple has their own specific song, or they're all having coordinated dances, or a bunch of different things, right? But yeah, I think people are just trying to stay away from that, doing the same thing everybody else is doing.
Right. So now let's go into first dance.
Yeah.
Anything? Are we seeing anything different there? I mean, I
They're
feel
cutting
like
it in half always.
So I agree with you. I don't think we're seeing anybody do away with that. I think everybody seems to like that tradition of having a dance with their new husband or wife or significant other. And I'm definitely seeing that as well, where they're asking me to create an edit that is a cut in half or a verse and a chorus, and
it does the first verse and then you jump to the last chorus and then it just kind of blends out really nicely, fades out.
right. Okay, so that's what I've been seeing there as well. Let's talk about.
Or you know what? Actually, this is something I've been seeing a lot of. It's you transition the first dance as the last dance in terms of like formalities, and you use it to kick open the dance floor. I've been making it as a suggestion where we'll do maybe like a remix, or we'll do something fun where they dance to something super slow, something really beautiful, and then it picks up with like a backbeat, and then they come in and they're inviting their guests to come and dance with them to start the open dance. I've been noticing that as a good way to kind of incorporate it, keep it half, but like fun. It's a great way for guests or for couples to invite their guests onto the dance floor. So that's something I've been seeing.
You know what else we've done in the past, and it's a suggestion I've made for couples that are looking to just do something different, because I think it's traditional, at least here in New Mexico, to have your dinner and then you start the dancing with your first dance.
Mm-hmm.
Something I've been suggesting when you want to do something a little bit different is do your grand entrance if you're having one, and then go right into your first dance.
Yep.
And now it creates a little bit different moment and experience. Sometimes you can have your guests be gathered around the dance floor at that point. And then now you have pictures where your guests are gathered around you instead of you kind of being on an island, right? And then guests are out at their tables, during
looking over their chair and
right,
stuff
after dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's another way that you can just make the first dance a little bit different.
Yeah, I feel like it always catches your guests off guard because
Right.
it doesn't always happen.
Because they're not expecting it,
Yeah.
right? So you've done
That's
this.
exciting.
I know we've done it in the past where we have everybody, they're doing cocktail hour or whatnot, and then we'll ask everybody to come on and gather around the dance floor, create a nice big giant circle.
Yep.
And we're going to introduce, the people that they've chosen to stand with them today. You go through the whole grand entrance, and then of course your bride and groom come out last. And then at that point, you go into their first dance. And it's kind of weird because you have this, usually with the grand entrance, it's like really high energy.
Mm-hmm.
And then you drop the energy level. And I know that's always a big concern with our couples. Like, well, isn't it going to drop the energy? And at that point, I honestly feel like it's okay because we're then typically going into dinner, which is going to be a drop in energy anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, and then it just kind of depends on what your wants and needs are and then what you're looking to accomplish.
Yep.
And I think that for pictures looks super cool when you've got your family and friends gathered around you, once again, as opposed to you just on an island by yourself for most of your pictures for your first dance. So
That's a good idea.
okay, how about the money dance?
I mean, I get it, but I think if you do the money dance, you need to you need to explain it very clearly to your best man and your maid of honor, whoever's collecting the money, how to do it, and to be really adamant on like dancing for 30 seconds. Because if you don't make that clear, you could have a dollar dance that goes for like 5-6 songs, and it's like after the third song, you're over it, and you're like, come on, let's get this going. Nobody's wanting to dance with the groom. There's still like 10 people who want to dance with the bride, and it just can get awkward. So that's like the one thing I say, if it's important to you, cool, right? But also too, I think all of these extra things that are happening before the open dance, you're just, I don't know, it's just getting boring or it gets repetitive. And I feel like you already invited people to your wedding. You already asked them to buy you a gift, and now you're having them give you more money. It just,
So
I don't know.
I think it depends on the couple, right?
Yeah.
I'm seeing I'm trying to think of like the proper and nice way of putting this, but it depends on the type of wedding. I'm seeing more and more couples that you're right. They feel like it's tacky to ask for money from their guests, right?
Yeah.
But then you also have this other part of it, which is if you are, deep rooted New Mexican, it's tradition. Our family and friends are expecting it. They want to help us out. And then those weddings, I feel like, are the ones that tend to be like 300-400 people, and you do the money dance.
Yep.
And then I just set expectations at that point. Okay, you got 300 people. Make sure your best man, maid of honor, getting them through rather quickly, and just do the math. If everybody got 30 seconds with you, and there's 300 people, you're going to be there a long time, right? Like, so
just painting the picture on what it would look like. Because I feel like, we do that a lot in our planning meetings where couples will come up to us with ideas, certain things they want to do, and you're like, okay, let me just explain to you logistically how this would work. And then they're like, oh, I didn't think about that. I just wanted to dance with my family, right? So that's kind of a thing. But also I've seen it. We've done dollar dances where we don't encourage any money. We're just encouraging people to come dance with the couple. So you can say, it's nice so they can say hi to each. You don't get to see every single person on your wedding day, and that's just kind of a hard fact, especially when your guest count is only higher. So when you have a dollar dance, it allows you to say a little, hey, appreciate you for coming out, and you get 30 seconds at least with people who do come and dance with you. So that's a nice little pro, instead of asking for money. But again, it'll take some time to do it, right? And say you've got sunset photos happening in 10 minutes or something, you have to end it, like all those little things that people don't think about. Right.
Well, and the longer you keep guests waiting, it creates some tension.
You want to leave. You're encouraging them to leave, or like, if they're just sitting there waiting and you're like, okay, what's happening?
I just feel like a lot of times that people are like, they're ready to dance, right? Like they want to get out there, dinner's just ended, and now you got to go through these formalities.
Yep.
And you've got a dollar dance that you can just see this big old long line. It's not you've got a half hour that you're going to be waiting before you get into the other stuff.
Yep.
And let's talk about those too. So let's talk about the formal dances, kind of like mother, son, father, daughter.
Those are interesting. I feel like nowadays something that's really common is we're having to deal with parents who are divorced or are separated a lot more than together. Now, it's always great when they're together because it's just father, daughter, mother, son, right? But a lot of the times we're having to incorporate maybe stepdad was a big part of her life and she helped raise them. So we'll have, like, maybe you'll do a song for 2 minutes, and then at 1 minute, stepdad will step off and real dad will come on and finish it out with the dances or whatever, right? So I think a lot of these formal dances it's really important for us as the DJs to talk to the clients and ask them, what's important to you? If it's not important to you to have parent dances, then don't force it. Don't make other people's expectations like weigh on your wedding day. This is your day, and you should be able to do whatever you want to do, not what your parents think you should do or what other friends think you should do because it's what they did during their wedding, right? No, this is your day, so you should make it that way, whatever that looks like, whether it is having parents or not having parents, whatever. So that's kind of like it's kind of personal, right? What's important to you?
Yep, I've seen that as well, and then I've seen a few instances where, I guess maybe parents aren't either in the picture or something like that, and it's they always seem to think, the couple seem to think, is it going to be awkward if she does a dance with her father, but he's not doing a dance with his mom, right? And I always tell them, no, people aren't going to notice. Like, have your dance, do what you same advice that you're given, make it yours, do what you want, and we're just going to keep moving right along. People as long as you're not bringing attention to it for some weird reason. Right. It's going to be fun.
Can you imagine as an MC, now everybody, now I know we had a father-daughter dance. We're not going to do a mother-son, but we're going to keep the night off. Like, what?
Like it.
That would just be so bad. Yeah.
Whoops.
All right. Oh, yeah. So, I think a lot of those formal ones are more of just what's important to you.
Right. Okay, cool. Here's one for New Mexico, La Marcha.
Yeah, that's a very New Mexican one. I'll explain it to people who aren't from here, and they're like, what is this? My cousin got married in Gunnison, Colorado, and her fiance, now husband, is, what's it called? They are white. They're from Michigan up north, right? They have nothing. They don't know anything about. This is the jam, right?
I feel like we need to talk about this
as it rolls.
as our background music, right?
So what it actually is, let's kind of talk about what it back in the day, New Mexicans used to do a dance that would help incorporate like the involvement of the guests. So them participating in the dance it's them communicating to the couple that they're going to be there for them, they're going to support them for them, and at the end of the dance, all of the guests end up in a circle, and then the couple is in the middle, and that's supposed to symbolize we're here for you, we are your unifying circle, we are your people, friends, family, all of that, and we're going to be here to support you while you celebrate your love, right? And so it's a really, really beautiful thing. It's very, very New Mexican, I will say, and we always ask in our meetings, would you like to do La Marcha? Would you not to? Because, like they could be two white people, but they are easily, if they're from here, they have been to La Marcha, they've been doing it and all of that. And so like it's very much a New Mexican tradition, but it's super fun. It can be long, right? If you got a guest count at 300, you got to get 300 people. It's pretty much follow the leader. They're clapping around and having fun. But yeah, it's a unique New Mexican thing that I think is so fun. But yeah, it's just
I can't take it anymore. All right. That's it.
Yeah, I have to say I have an hour-long version of that song.
Yep.
Just in case. The longest I've ever done, I think, was like 25 minutes. But I got kind of sidetracked there. So my cousin, she had a wedding in Gunnison, and one half of the party didn't know anything, and the other half knew exactly what it was. And so I think that's a really cool thing when you can incorporate different traditions from your family, right? And then you're showing all of these people who have no idea what this is a great way to like incorporate your love and all of that. Because yeah, I just feel like that was a cool, unique thing for my cousin's wedding, because half of the guests had no idea what was going on, but they loved it.
All right. I don't have much more to add to that. I think you pretty much summarized that one pretty good. I mean, and I just think overall we're seeing once again younger couples kind of getting away from it.
Yeah. Well, I will say the past like 5 times, it's like, well, our grandparents want us to do this.
Yeah, and it's definitely a New Mexican thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, I feel like people are very strong about it or very strongly against it, one way or the other.
What's interesting is I had a grandpa, I think either 2 years ago or I don't know, a couple weddings, a while back, and they got so mad at me that we were going to do Dollar Dance and then La Marcha. The grandpa came up to me and was like, no, that is not the tradition. The tradition is to do La Marcha, and then we do the Dollar Dance. And I was like, all right, well, you're the grandpa. You're making the call. We already talked about this in our client meeting. Like, I tried to be professional about it, but ultimately it was grandpa's call. But I like to end with the Dollar Dance because, like I said, they're in a big circle on the dance floor. So it's so much easier to play a banger and they are already like, oh, I can dance to this. This is great. You're already on the dance floor. Whereas like you play a banger and then half the people don't even hear it because they're having conversations at other tables or whatever. They hear the song and then they're like, oh, okay, let me go dance, right? It's so much easier to have them already on the dance floor. So that's why I always strategically put that at the end.
Then after Grandpa's ripped you at La Marcha and he comes up during the night for a request, This is what Zia's feeling.
I was nervous. I will say, when he told me that, I was like, okay, I'll do whatever we can. We'll just we were working on being professional and trying to make sure we're staying up to date with the timeline. And he was like, oh, I don't care. Oh, no. And I was like, all right, well, we'll figure it out. We'll make it work. And so
blood pressure is increased. What
it really was.
Anything for Grandpa.
Yep.
Okay. Bouquet and garter toss. I know we discussed this a little bit, so we don't need to go too deep into it on this episode, but I think it's another one that we're seeing our couples definitely getting away from.
It's just, I feel like couples are feeling bad for singling out single people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've had people tell me that, and then it's just awkward. We've talked about the whole garter thing and how that's awkward in front of family members. I really like the bouquet toss. I think that's a fun tradition that could stay. But just don't make it about being single. Just make it fun. Like, it's a good photo, I think. I always, during wedding day, will tell couples, or like, what's it called? Like, when she's about to throw I'll be like, fake them out. And then we'll do it twice. Because then the photographer,
right, it's a good picture.
It's a great photo. So we always do that. But other than that, I don't know.
All right. Yeah, definitely seeing I think we're seeing things play differently with the bouquet toss. I
Yeah.
think we are seeing our couples getting creative with that in different ways that they can give the bouquet away to someone. Definitely seeing the garter toss like
Fun.
getting tossed.
Yes.
Yeah. A lot of people are just not enjoying the comfort zone of getting underneath the bride's dress in front of mom and dad. I don't think.
It's weird because
Once again.
even 5 years ago, nervous. But even 5 years ago, that was fine. I feel like it was standard to be doing bouquet garter, and like everybody was all encouraging it, trying to, we were like John, right, getting the garter, and now that just doesn't happen. I feel like it's just awkward.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
It's definitely awkward.
Yeah, baby.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other traditions that you can think of that we want to talk about here? That different ways of going about them, or that we're seeing kind of go to the wayside?
This is actually interesting because it's just happened to me in a couple meetings, only a couple, but toasts, speeches. People are trying to get away from the actual formality of the toasts and just trying to have like a welcome and then just going along, just kind of run through it. Or even cake cutting. People are cutting the cake during dinner and not actually making a moment out of it, just getting the photo, doing all that, but not stopping everything and saying, hey, all right, now you guys go ahead and cut your cake. All right, they're going to cut their cake and everybody's watching them, right? It's just low key.
Something I'm definitely seeing with toasts are opening up the microphone.
Oh God,
People-
don't ever do that,
yeah,
please.
people have definitely gotten away from that. That's and I've been suggesting that a long time already. Of
It's such a bad idea.
don't do it. Don't just because you never know what's going to happen. You never know how long it's going to go. And then of course they'll ask us, well, is there something you can do? If Uncle Larry over here, he tends to go off and he tends to drink a lot. Can you just stop him? And I have to kind of explain to them, like, listen, you want us, we're the face of your event. You want people to be on our side. So don't put that on us to be like the regulator of the
length of the speeches or whatever. Yeah.
Like, it's not good because we're trying to get people to be with us later on with your party, which is what matters most to you. So a trick that I learned in a DJ forum a long time ago from I don't remember who it was from, but what to do in that event. So if you do have, for those of you that are planners out there or other DJs, and let's just say this happens. Somebody starts going off the wayside, right? During their toast. It's really long and you can see it's getting uncomfortable, whatever it may be. I always prep our bride and groom before that all they need to do is stand up and go stand right beside them. That's it. Don't say a word. Get up out of your chair or wherever you're at and just go stand right next to them.
Yeah. Huh.
And they will immediately know.
Get the idea.
They will get the idea. Like I need to wrap it up like right now.
Okay.
And is anybody going to hate on the bride and groom?
No.
Nope.
That's a good one. That's a really, really good one.
So they're not going to hate on you. In fact, they're going to love you for doing it.
That's a good one.
Right? And now you don't make the DJ the bad guy, which you don't want the DJ to be the bad guy at your event. Like you need us to, we're the party people.
Yeah.
You want people to like us, to be friendly, to come up and, and later on when it's time to get your dance floor popping,
Like you said, you want them on our side.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit easier for them to make requests. We can be a little bit more approachable, or they can make requests with us. And I feel like, if you don't like the DJ for whatever reason, you're going to think he's bad, even if he could be great, right? But you're like, oh, this guy's trash, right? And then it's fine.
So,
but
think about it. Number one, Uncle Larry now hates you, but then anybody that likes Uncle Larry also hates you.
Yep.
It's there. Like, I can't believe he did that. And
Yep.
So, but they'll never, ever, ever with the bride and groom. That's what I always tell them.
That's good.
Just get up and just stand next to him.
Nice.
So it's funny because I'm trying to think back. I don't think I've ever had it happen.
I've had a couple. I can think of a specific wedding, and it was just so long, and we're like, "Come on, like stop, like you're done." And then she started crying, and she got so emotional, and could barely even spit it out. And it was, when you gave me that tip, I was like, I wish I would have told them to do that because they would have cut her off or allowed it to be good, But I've only had that happen a couple times. I actually, one of my first weddings ever, way back in like 2014, 2015, I had this groomsman, best man, make a joke. He had like a scroll, right? And it was a big old long thing. And it wasn't even a joke. Homie went through the whole thing. And
Oh my gosh.
right, it was so funny when he whipped it out. And then 20 minutes later, he's still talking. And everyone's like, Jesus, like, what is this guy talking about? Like, are we done yet? Like, it was so bad. And, I just kind of sit there and just waited. Because I didn't know what to do.
Oh my gosh.
Year 1, year 2, Tony.
Terrible toast. All right. Okay, so let's. I think we can put a bow on this section for traditions, and let's get to the grab bag. We need like music for the grab bag. I don't know what it's
We
gonna
just
be.
need like grab bag.
Is this grab bag music?
Yeah. See, episode 1, I was singing this. Now we got it playing.
We need a grab bag like rap.
Yeah. It's the grab bag. Yeah. We're here to give you topics about wedding DJs. Didn't even rhyme. Stick to DJing.
All right, so Tony's taking over the grab bag session today. He's scoured the highs and the lows of the internets.
Got a couple good ones.
And I haven't seen these. I don't know what he's going to present us with, but we're going to talk about a few of these questions that he's seen across some of these DJ forums. So let's go. Let's bring it.
Yeah, the first one I found was an interesting one because I find like we've talked about it kind of in the past, but they talked about songs and the length of songs at events, right? So my question is, do you play the full length song at your event?
Like just any music?
Yeah.
Like if you're like throughout the night?
Yeah, like is there ever a good reason for you to actually play the full song?
Yes. Do I always play the full song? No. But is there a good reason? Yes. So an example of that would be like here in New Mexico, probably in Texas, some of those country states, like a country song, people want to dance a country dance. It's about the dance. So a two-step, for example, right? If I'm mixing in and out of a bunch of two-steps, I don't think people are going to enjoy that.
That's true.
Latin music, if they specifically want a salsa and want to dance salsa, and you're mixing in and out of songs, or you're trying to play a remix of a salsa track, it is not going to fly.
Mm-hmm.
Cumbias here in New Mexico, right? Rancheras, all of that stuff. So those are reasons for me to play a full, 3-4 minute length long song.
Yeah. It's kind of more like, I guess, would you call it two-step dancing? Or just like more like traditional with another person would be like kind of the...
Yeah, I mean, so
example.
The thing is at that point, it's really about the dance and having a dance with somebody.
Yeah.
Right. It's
Not just like partying while music's happening.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, so it's just a lot different than you just said it, like playing a dance set, right?
Yeah.
Where I can go in and out of tracks, or a hip hop set, and I can go verse and a chorus. And, nobody wants to sit there right now and listen to Nelly Houghton here for 5 minutes.
Yep.
But if I play that first verse and chorus, and then go into DMX Party Up, and then go, verse and chorus, and then Usher, verse and chorus. And I can play 5, 6, 7, 8 songs within like a 2-3 minute period. And it feels like you're in the nightclub.
Yeah.
And really the dance is fist pumping with your bros, right? Or
exactly.
with your girls. So, but a lot different than a specific, like, you want to two-step, or I want to country swing. Like, I want to have a dance with this person.
Yep.
For a few minutes. So
Got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. That's a good one. Yeah, I agree with that too. Especially with the salsa dances. I feel like, I knew that with country, but there's been times where I'm playing certain Spanish things and they get pissed because I cut it off too soon.
Yeah, definitely. You cannot interrupt. Don't interrupt the Latinos
Nope.
during their dance.
Funny because, I feel like you'll have that uncle who will like dance for that 1-2 songs, but you got to play them because those are the moments he remembers.
Oh, they will be so upset.
Yeah.
Yep, that's right.
I always say that the line you get is an older gentleman will come up to you at the end of the night or towards the end of the event. Can you play some more Spanish music for the older folks? And it never fails, and always playing some kind of Tobias Rene at the end of it, or it doesn't always, but it happens pretty often.
Exactly. All right, what's the next one?
This one is interesting because I feel like people talk about just open dance and how long it should be, but yeah, that's kind of what it is what's an ideal length of open dance for you? And if you happen to have a 3 or 4 hour open dance, how do you approach it?
Yeah, good question. We get this one, from time to time. I mean, after my experience over the years, I love the hour and a half to 2 hour and a half pocket.
Mm-hmm.
2 hour, 2.5 hour open dancing is plenty. And I know for most couples, they're going to feel like that's too short, like way too short.
Not enough.
Not enough time, but I don't think they understand especially when it comes to weddings and the length and thinking of your guests. Okay. So you get married at, I don't know, 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Well, let's just say it's 4 o'clock and you have in your mind this image of partying all the way until midnight. Okay, 4 to midnight is an 8-hour day, and many people don't even work 8-hour days.
Yep.
So you're asking your guests to hang out for 8 hours, and most of the time. So now let's start thinking about the timeline a little bit. Your open dancing, let's just say it starts at 8 o'clock. So you're going to go from 8 to midnight, 4 hours, and you think your guests are going to go 4 hours of fist pumping? Do you go and last 4 hours at a nightclub in your 20s?
Yeah, no.
Fist pumping the whole time? Like, no, most of the time you're going out at probably, I know when I was your age, it was like, 10, 11 o'clock, and then you're only there till about 1.
Yeah.
And that's a couple hours.
Yeah, and that's not including you going to the bar, getting drinks. That's the whole, like, you're having your out experience in 3 hours. So you maybe get, an hour and a half dance time?
Right.
So,
and that's the way I tend to treat this. 2 hours is going to be plenty of time. And then what I like about that is most of the time, let's just say your dancing started at 8. Now you're going to end at 10, 10:30, maybe 11-ish at the latest.
Yeah.
And you are still going to have most of your guests there in the room with you, and you can go out with a bang. And one of the things that I talk about most are there's going to be a few things that your guests are always going to remember. They're going to remember the highs, any lows, if there are any.
Yep.
All right. They're going to remember the great things. They're going to definitely remember terrible things. And they're typically going to remember how they left.
yeah.
The feelings of the feelings they had leaving your event.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I would rather have a group of people going out on this massive high, wanting more.
Yep.
Right? Than the massive drop off that happens from 11 to 12 o'clock, where your guests are now going to start trickling out because they're tired. It's been a work day for them. Okay. So they're leaving. And now every guest that's leaving your event is leaving tired. They can't wait to get home. They had a good time and it was fun, but I just can't wait to get home. That's how they leave filling your event, as opposed to 100 people in the room still left there, right? Yep. And everybody is leaving wanting more. In fact, they'll probably go one more song, one more song.
Yeah, you get that encore. That's awesome.
That's awesome, right?
That's what you want.
And now everybody has left your event with that feeling, like, oh my gosh, we could have partied for another 2 hours.
Yeah, exactly.
They
You
wouldn't
couldn't
have.
Exactly.
They wouldn't have. They don't.
Yeah.
We see it week in, week out, right? So, that was my long-winded answer.
No, that was perfect. I think that was really, really good because, 2 hours gives you just enough time to play every banger, and then you're done.
Yeah. There's no filler music. I can just play a lot of great tracks. So you had talked about, what to do with sometimes we do have to play 3 and 4 hours.
Yeah.
And now it makes it a little bit challenging, right? Like, do I spread out like the good stuff over the course of that time? Or do I play everything, all the good stuff early on while most of the people are there? So it makes it a little bit more challenging. And you obviously have to have, a lot more music to try and just spread the night out. Sometimes you can spread yourself thin. And in most cases, with most weddings, that's what ends up happening because most people are there for only those 2 hours.
Yep, it's
and
true.
then you see the drop off happen. So makes it tough sometimes.
Okay. Nice. Okay, one more.
One more from the grab bag.
This one is interesting. What song do you dislike?
Need some music.
Got some tunes. I like it. But what song do you just absolutely dislike playing at shows, but it always hits?
Like right now, it's probably Uptown Funk.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm Uptown Funked out, but it does. It tends to hit. And this is our problem as DJs in the private event scene, right? We're doing this week in, week out. Most people, we've talked about this before, are going to a wedding once every few years.
Yeah.
You know, maybe if you're in your 20s and all your friends are now starting to get married, that's kind of like the time period where all the weddings tend to lump in.
Exactly.
So if you're in your mid-20s, you're probably going to a lot more weddings than the average person. And then once you get out of that age range, then it becomes fewer and fewer. I've been to, I think, 1 or 2 weddings, and it's only been like my family, like cousins
I've only
getting married
attended like 3.
in like the last 5 years.
Yeah, I've only attended like 3 or 4 in my life. I've been to like over 200.
Right. So, and so I get it. And I'm always going to play for the crowd. So if they're feeling Uptown Funk, we're going to play some Uptown Funk. You know, I'm just going to bust out a different version maybe, or, you know, try to keep it fresh.
That's a good way to
really
do it.
what I'm always trying to do. So, I mean, I'm looking at my library right here, and I've only got like 35 different versions of Uptown Funk. So, you know, I got you covered.
That's all you need, 35.
Right. So what about you?
You know, I feel like September I love and I hate it at the same time, but it's such a good one. And just line dances overall.
Yeah.
Because they do work. But always, can you play the Cupid Shuffle? Sure, I guess.
Right. Or how about, what about this one?
Is it Uptown? Oh, God, I hate this one. I don't even play it. If they want to line dance, I will not play
I
this.
can't think of the last time I played the electric slide.
Once. Yeah, it was... No. I'd rather play any other line dance before that one. Or maybe not. Screw the chicken dance. That one's even worse.
You know you love getting the chicken dance out of you. Come on.
This is hilarious. It's actually got a chicken bite. Sound bite. Oh, God. I'd be pissed if somebody played this at a wedding.
I don't even know why this is in my library.
Hey, you never know. Somebody might want it. So it's good to have it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's-
I don't know. I think if those are your top tracks, you're gonna have to find another DJ. Sorry.
There's a lot more music out there, right? And one thing I was thinking about too is like, on average, you're gonna play around 30 songs an hour, right? So if you have 2 hours, 3 hours, you're only playing 100 songs. There's so much music out there.
Remember when like Baby Shark was the thing?
Oh God, they still are. Can you play for my kid?
So then you got to get creative, right? And you got to do something like this.
All right. Oh, it's like a Latin vibe.
I'm knocking out 2 birds with 1 stone. You want some cumbia, some Latin?
It's actually pretty hilarious.
Oh my God.
Nice.
All right. Okay. That's it for the grab bag session. That was fun, I think, and we probably lost our 4 new viewers or listeners that we got this week. We were up to 14. We're up to 14 diehards with us.
We see you. We appreciate you.
And we just lost 4, and we're back to 10. Oh man.
Name of the game.
Yep. Okay. So we've got a new section we're gonna do here. A new section. New segment. We're calling it Back to the Music, and I think we're gonna do this from here on out with some different themes. And because that's what we are. We're DJs.
Yep.
We want to talk about music within what we're doing here. So what we're gonna do with Back to the Music. Be about it for this. We can put a bow on this episode. What do you think?
That was pretty good.
Have anything else you've got?
No, we got the new look. We got the new setup, so that's pretty cool. We figured we'd turn the tables, see how that went, and it seems like it's pretty cool. I like this layout.
Pretty good. I'm digging it. All right, you guys, that's going to do it for the Cutmaster Cast this week. Thank you for joining us.
We appreciate you all. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time.
Thanks for checking out the Cutmaster Cast podcast. Make sure you stay tuned with all things related at www.cutmastermusic.com.